Good morning, everybody. Time for some morning coffee. Well, we survived the Christmas holiday and everything went really well. Chores got done because, the critters don't celebrate Christmas. So, you still got to feed them and make sure that water ain't frozen. But now that we've passed the part of Christmas where everybody gathers and trades their gifts and whatnot, I just thought I'd join you for morning coffee and talk about a little bit about responsibility. On a homestead, you need to exercise more responsibility than say living in an apartment in a city, because this land and these buildings, if you're truly homesteading, trying to be self-sufficient, that piece of property you're on is the key to whether or not you're going to make it. You can work and work and work and work, but if you're not working in such a way that you're taking care of that little chunk of dirt, it's not going to give back to you in an effective manner. Um, you know, Nature provides, but when you're on a cultivated piece of property, you've got to take a chunk of that responsibility upon yourself, because we have, for all intents and purposes, altered nature on that piece of property. You go up into the forests and you won't find any turned soil where new things are growing like we do with a garden. You won't find any cleaned up animal manure in piles composting the way that we do in our barns. You take part in the natural processes on a homestead, and you have a responsibility to take care of those processes in order for it to support you and help you be self-sufficient. But I suppose it depends on to what degree you want to be self-sufficient. But the day after Christmas, it strikes me, um, 3 R's that everybody throws out. At least us older folks, to us, the 3 R's were always reading, writing, and arithmetic. Educational goals. But in the sense of homesteading, and more with natural processes and climatic issues, the 3 R's are recycle, reuse, repurpose. There was a lot of potential waste produced yesterday. A lot. Um, think about it. For those folks that have natural Christmas trees, if you didn't get a live tree that you can plant when you're done with it, uh, then you have to figure out what to do with that Christmas tree. A lot of folks, they'll send them to the dump, or find some place that'll take them and make something useful from them for someone else's purpose. Do it yourself. Cut your little greens up, uh, chop them down as far as you can, put them in a separate compost pile. If it's a pine tree, put them in a separate compost pile to feed your blueberries and your azaleas. Give them a good dressing with the pine needles and the bark and whatnot. If you have enough wood product in there and you can chip it, there you go. But the greens, if you live in a forested area, you have property that has forests on it, add it to a scrub pile to provide shelter for birds and small animals. That's part of your natural ecosystem. If you're trying to eliminate those things, then you're not working in a way that your land is accustomed to prior to human arrival, and you're altering the natural cycles on that piece of property. Support the small wildlife. Your cardboard, wrapping paper, all of these things, if they're compostable, put them in your compost. It's not a big deal to shred them up and put them out there. If you have things that can be repurposed, use them. Boxes that aren't compostable because they're all glossy and they shouldn't be in your compost. Use them for your storage, or use them for matting in areas that you want to break down the weeds and whatnot, and then pull them up before they completely disintegrate. Just this time of year up here, it's kind of mucky. We get our snow and we get our ice, and then it'll warm up a few degrees and everything melts, and you're tracking things in. Break the box down and put it inside the front door to put your muddy shoes on. Plastic and things like that, there's really nothing you can do about that, but double check, see if they're recyclable. Make the effort. Batteries, same thing. If you're not using rechargeable batteries, then find a place that'll take those for recycle. You might have to pay somebody to take them, but it's better than toss them into a landfill. Repurposing, recycle, reuse. These are the 3 R's that matter when you're homesteading. More and more, I think that homesteading and having a piece of property that provides us the necessities to be self-sufficient, more and more requires us to be good stewards of that property. A lot of people won't agree with me, and a lot of people have their own ideas, and that's fine. As long as you're not messing up somebody else's dream or efforts, that's fine. But the way things have been going, and the way things are going to be for quite a while, I think as homesteaders and working towards self-sufficiency goes hand in hand with being good stewards for the property that takes care of us. So you're all old enough to have gotten through the reading, writing, and arithmetic. Now it's time to pay attention to the other 3 R's. Recycle, repurpose, reuse. I just read a report not too long ago about a landfill study, And the number one item in landfills, I believe it was 2018 or 2019 when they did the study, and it took them a while to get the numbers out. Then the greatest percentage of landfill material was food waste. Oh man, if you're homesteading and you have food waste, you're doing it wrong. If the number two was wood product, wood material, and that's based on volume. You know, an 8-foot 2x4 takes up a lot more space than a styrofoam Big Mac container. So that's how that was measured. But wood products going to the dump to be buried, and boggles my mind. But then again, most things these days boggle my mind. So if those are the top two landfill contributions, we're doing something very, very wrong. Anyway, there you go. That's my morning coffee thought for the day. 3 R's. Go enjoy your coffee. Enjoy your family. Happy holidays. We'll see you again soon.